Hey guys, I'm Dawn. This is my little corner of the world, and today I'm gonna show you um, what I have checked out from the library. So, kind of like what I plan on reading. I will say, even if I continue to do these videos, just because I checked it out from the library doesn't mean I always read it. I am a firm believer in not wasting time in reading a book that I'm not into. So for nonfiction, I usually give it 70-ish pages. For fiction, I give it about 40 to 50 pages, and if I'm not into it, out it goes. Sometimes I will try it at a different time, and then sometimes I just know that I'm not going to read it. I am a mood reader. I always kind of have like a fiction and a nonfiction going, but typically I'm a mood reader. So if I'm like super stressed, I'm not going to go for the nonfiction, which is what I read. I'm actually 50-50 right now with nonfiction and fiction. But sometimes I just need something really light and fluffy, and then sometimes I'm just like really down to concentrate and get into it. So with that being said, here are the books that I have checked out from my library. Like I said, it doesn't mean I'm going to read them all. They just have caught my eye, or I've heard about them, or that kind of thing. So the first one, and I am reading this, I started this today. It's called Devil's Mile, The Rich, Gritty History of the Bowery by Alice Sparberg Alexiou. I have not read anything by this author, but I love any book that has to do with New York. I've gone and fiction to nonfiction. I love especially like the history of New York and like how it changed and the tenements and 5 Points and all of that. So far I'm liking it. It's a pretty small nonfiction, just about one little section of New York. I'm trying to find all my nonfiction. Most of them are nonfiction today. I saw this today while I was at the library getting, when I was checking out the library book sale section. If you want to see that, check out my other video. And I saw this on the shelf, so I checked it out. It's called Hunting Whitey, the inside story of the capture and killing of America's most wanted crime boss by Casey Sherman and Dave Wedge. I love true crime, and I also love anything mafia mob. And I remember watching the movie with Johnny Depp and thinking, oh man, I need to know more about this man. I do believe I have read a biography of Whitey Bulger, but this is more about the hunting and the capture, which I'm excited about. And I don't think I've read anything by this author. The next one I have is a nonfiction by Christopher Knowlton. It's Bubble in the Sun, the Florida boom of the 1920s and how it brought on the Great Depression. I really like architecture. I really like history of like certain buildings. This isn't like one building in particular. It's the whole section of Florida, but it talks about different buildings, like some of the famous hotels and such. And then this time period is always really interesting. So I've never read anything by this author. It says that he's the author of Cattle Kingdom. So I'm excited, and I love these ladies here on the beach. A true crime one, another one, is Hell in the Heartland, Murder, Meth, and the Case of Two Missing Girls by Jax Miller. And I believe that, yeah, in 1999, two girls, like 16-year-old girls, went missing from rural Oklahoma. I cannot say that word. Can you say that word? Rural. Anyways, from Oklahoma. It's new. And I don't think I know about this case. I do listen to podcasts, like true crime podcasts, not all of them, but some of them. I don't think I've heard of this one, but I'm always willing to try it. And then my fiction book, it's also fairly new. I believe it just came out, and it's from one of my favorite historical fiction authors. It's actually a man, which when I first started reading his books, I thought it was a woman because typically his main characters are women. and he just does it so well. Usually I feel like not many authors can write in the opposite sex and do it well. He does. The author is C.W. Gortner, and this is The First Actress, a novel of Sarah Bernhardt. I don't know much about her. It's going to be a fun time period. I have read, let's see what other ones I've read by this guy. The Romanov Empress, about Maria Feodorovna, very good. Marlena Dietrich, it's really good. I have not read The Vatican Princess, I probably will. Mademoiselle Chanel, I've read it, loved it. The Queen's Vow, loved it. The Confessions of Catherine de' Medici, loved it. The Last Queen, I have read it. And then there's 3 Tudor era ones that I have not read. Again, one of my favorite historical fiction authors. I tend to like historical fiction that is non-romance based, that is well researched, heavy on the facts, and so that you really get a sense of like the time period and the people and the clothing and the language they use. And I really like historical fiction that can kind of put you in a time and place. I'm not big on historical fiction that just kind of picks a time period and like slaps in maybe someone that just seems way too modern. I do typically read nonfiction, usually about history, geared towards World War II sometimes, and true crime. And then I like to read fiction, mostly historical fiction, non-romance, set in World War II. However, I've been doing that steady for about 2 years, and I'm kind of branching. I mean, I read heavy in the Tudor period and anything royal in fiction, historical fiction, for a really long time. Then I moved to the 20s. Then I've moved to World War II. It's been really popular lately over the last few years, but I am branching out into different time periods, and I won't turn down a time period, basically, except for like ancient times. I'm not big on that. So let me know if you've read any of these or if they look good. What are your favorite genres to read? And I'll see you in the next video.